Hello, is this recording? I just did a whole 20-minute video where I recorded a demonstration of the devastation of Devoker and was muted the whole time. So that was epic, awesome, amazing. Everything I was trying to say is that all of my spells are designed in such a way to lay down Firestorm as many times as possible. I will give you a peek of the talent tree. Nobody can agree on how to spec into it because literally all of these moves are fucking god tier, and trying to figure out what to sacrifice where to get like these spells at the bottom of the tree is really fucking hard. So everybody plays it differently. I've seen a dozen different videos and guides online, and none of them are the way that I play it. So there is no right way to play it, there is no wrong way to play it, and I will show you how I play it. So these spells here, these 6, and then Q and E, and then these 2 at the end are your most important spells. These are the ones that are in my rotation constantly. I am constantly casting them. Under no circumstances should these spells ever not be on cooldown. And I will show you how I play in such a way to lay down as many Firestorms as I can. Here we go. So there's our first one, and then I'm going to cast this big one here. It's going to give us some pretty cheap uses. So we're about to get 1 here. 1. And there's 2. We're going to go fish for our 3rd with Living Flame. Didn't get it. Happens. This is a damage over time. This is group damage. We're going to do that area of effect, and then we're going to lay down some pyres, which are group damage. So we laid down our second one. We're going to do our main bolt. Did not give us a free use again, but that's okay. Every time something glows, that means I get to cast it for free. And that's what we're really after here, is free uses of our spells, and trying to get a free use, especially on this one right here, Firestorm. You see it's glowing, that's because I can do this. It casts instantly and it does more damage. Now we've laid down a second one because we cast 9 of these big lobs of fire at the right end of my bar here. We're going to do another one of these. Didn't get it. We're going to press E again, hope that it reduces the cooldown. Didn't get it. It's only a 15% chance, but it's always worth trying. If there's time in between, or a free use of it like that, where you don't have to wait for it to be cast, always go for it, every single time. If there's nothing else to cast, you should be casting your main bolt in an effort to get free uses of other spells. Alright, our deep breath there is about to come off of cooldown, so we want all these essence circles here to fill up again. So we got 1. We'll do this. Oh, it's a pretty poor use of it on my end. Made a lot of mistakes there, but even when you're really good at it, you're always going to be making mistakes, doing things that you wish you hadn't, or maybe weren't optimal, as the hardcore gamers would say. I'm not a hardcore gamer, so touch grass. It's just a lot of button pressing. I'm going to cool it there. It says that I did about 120 damage per second, evened out about, I hover around like 120 to 130 if I'm doing a decent enough job. 200 is like ridiculous amounts of damage. Like really the highest end for for the expansion right now. So to be about halfway there, hovering around like 130, 150 if I'm doing a PogChamp job, that's pretty good. Not the best, but it's still pretty damn good. So now that you've seen all that shit in action, I can kind of, yeah, part of me wants to over-explain and turn this into another 20-minute video, but, that's mostly it. You play as a cute dragon. Cute, awesome, amazing. She's the love of my life, so purty. And then she just breathes fire on everybody. What more do you want? I can do the rotation again, I'll walk you through it. I'm gonna cast Dragon Rage, which will make me do more damage to little enemies. I will do Firestorm, which is the big AoE here. And then I'm gonna do this Charge Up Cone at level 1 so that I'm doing a lot of damage over time. Then we cast Deep Breath, which is like you breathe fire in a straight line, which you can select how far along you want this to be. So if like this room was full of enemies, then you could breathe fire across the whole thing, and everything that you hit along the way takes damage. This is a sort of like an AoE. You do instant damage to an enemy, and the longer you charge it, the more enemies that you hit. Tip the Scales lets you charge this or this at max level instantaneously. Shattering Star makes you do more damage to an enemy for 4 seconds, but it also gives me a free instant use of one of these guys, my Pyre or Disintegrate. These two moves are my main damage dealers. They work off of these right here, Essence. You start at max every time you use one. It uses up either 1, 2, or 3 of them, depending on the situation and what you have going on. And then they recharge over time. So you're really trying to balance out casting as many uses of these as you can, fighting against the recharge rate of your essence. And all of these spells here kind of help with that. So like Living Flame is my main bolt. It's just, you use it for everything. It's free. It has a short cast time and no cooldown. So I have it on the E button because I'm pressing it constantly. And then also on Q is my low damage instant. That's it. That's all it does. It did like 45k. 45k. 60, it crit. Low damage. But these two have a chance to give me free uses of these two spells. One of them, you can't have free use of both. It gives you a buff called Essence Burst, in which you can use either of these spells without using up essence. It helps you cast more of them, which is good because I'm spec'd into this. After casting 9 pyres, this spell that uses essence like we talked about, the next pyre will explode into a firestorm. So on your 10th one, it explodes into a firestorm, which is our big AoE here. And you just really want to level up your Firestorm as much as you can, lay down as many of them as you can. I also have it set, Living Flame has a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of Firestorm. It was either that or Raging Inferno, which increases the size, or like the radius, by 25%, and then casting Pyre deals 20% increased damage to enemies within the Firestorm. Both of these are incredibly good. Let me say that. Both of them are very good. Whichever one you choose to take is up to you. Both of them are good. I have Snapfire. Living Flame has a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of Firestorm. And the next one instant casts. And it deals 100% more damage. So, both of these are the right choice to make. I very well could flip over to the other one that gives me more AoE. And Pyre does more damage inside of it, especially now that I have spec'd into Feed the Flames, which is that on the 10th Essence Burst I get another Firestorm. But I have less chances to get free uses of it and stack it up. So in that case, I guess the numbers would kind of shake out that you get... Yeah, I like where I'm at. So I'm going to show you one more time a good chunk of the rotation. What is that guy casting? What are you? Undead Priest. And you're a Frost Mage. Yeah, you are. Fell Hunter. What are you? Another lock. Okay. We got some people here hitting on these things, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open with our do more damage to enemies. Lay down the AoE. Our damage over time. And then we're gonna breathe fire on everyone. This is the biggest damage spell that I have. It absolutely fucking slays. We're gonna hit our pyres over and over again because after casting our deep breath, we get to cast it for just one. We've got 2 stacks of it now. We want to hit our living flame to fish for free uses. We just got one. So we've stacked it up 3 times. There's a lot to keep track of for sure. Generally, you see how everything is kind of on a timer right now? That's a good thing. That is a very good thing. That means that I've been using all of my spells as soon as they're available. Look, 2 of them came off the cooldown. Use them immediately. Use it immediately. Do not wait. If you can do damage, do it. So I'm going to lay down this firestorm we just got for free. We're going to breathe some breath. We're going to lay down some pyres until we get another firestorm to pop. If we can. It's a big ask. Almost. Nah, we couldn't quite do it. But we can actually stack it up now. So there's this dragon here. After 9 stacks, it turns into a buff with a minute cooldown, which will give us a firestorm on our next pyre. So we can lay down this guy. And then we're going to pop our pyre, which lays down a second one. We're going to use living flame and fish for the third. We didn't get it, but that's okay. And we're just going to keep doing fucking damage. Right now, I just see that I'm peaking at about 136, 137 I saw. Yeah. I'm going to fish for another free use. We got it. I'm going to fish for another free use. We didn't. Now we're going to cast a lot of these pyres and see if we can get a third cooking. We did get it, but the other firestorms ran out. But we're keeping that damage over time rolling. Even if it's not stacking, at least it's back to back, so that damage over time just doesn't go away. You want to keep doing damage as much as you can, always, especially as the DPS spec. If you're healing, tanking, or buffing, the damage that you're doing, not so important. That's somebody else's job. Know what you're doing. You know, if you're tanking, you shouldn't be worried about doing more damage than everyone else. You should be worried about making sure that you always have your mobs under control. If you're healing, don't worry about the damage that you're doing in between. Worry about keeping everybody else alive. It's stuff like that. But of course, as a damage dealer and my purely damage dealing spec, I'm going to be pretty hard pressed to make sure that I'm always doing as much damage as I can. Come on. Yeah! Now we've just laid down 3. That's sexy. Look at that fucking beaming red. Just fire pouring from heaven. It's fucking awesome. I just don't know what more you could want in a video game than being a super epic, awesome, amazing dragon breathing fire and everything. Look at that shit. These guys are fucking hurting. Alright. I'm gonna cool it there. You can see my damage is kind of petering out a little bit. I went from 137, now I'm dying down because it's finishing up my damage over time. And it's telling me that I averaged out at 127,000 damage every second. And overall, so like the entire time that we were fighting, I walked away having done nearly 20 million damage overall, as a whole. And that's not bad. It's not bad. It's not like, wow, oh my god, amazing, the highest damage that I've ever seen in my life. That mantle goes to my dad at 200,000 damage per second as a fucking warlock being buffed by augmentation. But, nonetheless, that's how I play. Another peek at the tech tree again. Don't worry about this. It has less to do with everything. This is all utility and stuff that's specific to my class. This stuff is specific to your specialization. This is the futsy-wutsy parts that you always get to muck around with. Because all of these are really good. There's spells in here that I wish I had, but I just don't know what to get rid of to make it happen. This one, for example, Essence Burst has a 20% chance not to be consumed. As we understand Essence, our main damage spells need Essence. Essence Burst means that we get to use those spells without using Essence. Having a 20% chance to not use up your free chance when you do use the free chance means that you just get to keep doing free damage. You just keep doing damage over and over again, as much as you possibly can. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. That's about everything. People are pouring in online. Family's gonna be coming home soon. And I'll be putting all this shit to practice in our dungeons, though I'll probably be doing augmentation and not devastation. Nonetheless, thank you for watching. Play World of Warcraft.